Hi YouTube, welcome back to Wtf Rc Cars. So, we have the Flysky ST8 transmitter, and as it comes out of box, and remember this is the upgraded version. So, we get the little plates and the attachments needed to convert this to an auto return, which is going to be more use for RC or RC cars. So I'm going to show you how to strip down the transmitter and then get this to auto return and show you what parts we fit. And these do come, the spring and everything comes with the upgraded version of this transmitter. So let's get you in for a close-up look and crack on with the disassembly and reassembly of it. Right, so first thing we're going to need to do is flip the transmitter over, and then you got two screws, and then one in the top. And I believe these are, let's check, yep, 2.5mm. And according to instructions, it shouldn't be too difficult to do this. Just try not to push on the controller too much, because you don't want to be damaging any of your switches or anything on the front. So that's all as 5 screws removed. So let's see if we can get this apart. We'll remove the battery cover so we've got something we can hold. And if you start from bottom, you should just be able to pop them apart, and then we just work his way around the transmitter carefully. And then that should be it. We should be into the transmitter itself, and then we should be able to just unplug this bottom connector, and then you're not going to be breaking any of your wiring or anything. So it's this one that we're going to need to make auto return, because as you see on the other side, that one already returns. Now we have got a few connectors in here that I can see. So there's this one, and then you've got this one for one of the antennas. You've got another antenna wire running round to the front, what looks like it runs under there. And I believe it's this one that you'd be swapping if you want to run the external antenna mod, and you do just pop this little cover off at the front. So is this what we're going to have some power output for LEDs maybe? And you can swap these over to each one however you'd like. But we do have these little red sort of inserts. I'm wondering if they're where the LEDs are going to go, because the pin out of this, trying to see if anything's labelled, because usually on the Flysky equipment most of the test points and everything are all fully labelled, which is nice. You got your vibration motor. We've got a whole load of test pins all fully labelled, and these are as well. In fact, pretty much every test point on there is fully labelled. But we do have a label here that says 3 volt, and then TX and RX, which I'm guessing is them 3 pins. But I'm wondering if that is where we're going to have some LEDs that go onto here. Be interesting. But let's crack on with the job at hand. So if we look in the parts bag, and be careful where you empty this out, because you've got some little tiny parts and some springs. So basically what we're going to want to do is replicate this on here. So it does come with some instructions, but you do have all the parts you need, and you do have an opposite one to copy. So first thing we're going to do is remove this part, and this is basically just what helps it to stay in place. So once that's removed, then you can see this just flops around quite freely. Right, so once we've removed this, we then gonna have to take this off. And just keep a track of all your screws. And in there you get a glimpse of one of the bearings, and then let's see if we need to take this off, because we'll need to get underneath this to get the springs in. So that's the little retaining mechanism that holds the bearing down. Now we'll just undo that and get that out of the way. Now, can we lift this out yet? Yep. So we can lift that whole mechanism straight out, and we can put that to one side. And then we're going to have to get his return spring in place. And it looks like we don't actually need to back that out, because that looks like it's just the way we adjust the tension, and it doesn't actually screw in. So the screw just lifts that and puts a little bit more tension on it. So I'm going to set it on the strongest, and then if we need to adjust it, I can always back it off. But the other one's set on the most tension, so the highest point. So once we've got that in place, we then need to switch to this and get our two little dowels. Let's see if we can pop them in. In fact, I can get the back one in first. I'll just move that out way, see if I can show you. So get his little dowels, and they're going to push into a stick. Now it looks like we're going to need the bearing popped off, so we can just remove the bearing. And then we get this dowel in place, and we can pop his bearing back on, and then we can pop our potentiometer back, and then we carefully need to lower the whole thing into place. And then you can see we've now got auto return on this side. So we need to get as little cover back in place, and these have got a little slot on them so you can locate them. So I'll just start these screws off first. And this does seem a bit more of a daunting task than it actually is. So yeah, they're the screws to adjust the tension. The further up this is, the more tension on it to return. And then again, the same on this side that holds the bearing in. You've got your tiny little slots, and the opposite way around on that because they're mirrored or inverted. So if I get that started and then get this one screwed in. And this is a good point if you want to adjust the tension to back it off at all or put more tension on. Then we need to reconnect as stick. And just push the cable back in, and then you can quickly try it, make sure it auto returns. And then you do get one of these for each side, but you only get the screws that are already fastened into it. So you can convert both these to non-return, but you'd have to find some little screws to hold the extra one in. It's a bit strange that they don't come with them, but I don't think they'd be difficult screws to find. They're only small. So once we've got that back in place, we can plug a connector in that connects all your buttons on the back. And it's quite easy to snap it back together. And then we just need to pop the screws back in. So we just need to pop screws back in with a 2.5mm X drive. And as I say, it does come with the instructions, or you can download the instructions for switching these sticks over, but it's pretty self-explanatory when you look at it. You've also got the opposite stick that's already built up the way you want, whether you're going to be converting it to auto return or none. And it's not a difficult transmitter to take apart. It's quite nice to work on. So let's get the batteries back in, and hopefully I can show you that it still powers up and we've not broke it. And we've now got auto return on both of these sticks, how we're actually going to need it for using it on RC cars. So we do have it powered back up, we do have it auto returning. And the one thing I would do is go into menu. So let's see if I can do this upside down. This will be fun. So calibration, because we've been playing about with sticks and you don't know if you've slightly moved anything. You shouldn't have, but always better to do the calibration. And then we know it's fully calibrated, and if I press now that one, should see we've got full movement on all those channels. But let's wrap this one up. So there you have it, the FS ST8 upgraded version, and we've got it on auto return now on both sticks, so this should make it a lot more useful for RC cars, rock crawlers, that type of vehicle. But yeah, not too painful, quite easy to work on, and still interested to see how we get some lights in this. So Flysky, you've obviously got plans for this, so don't keep us waiting. I think this would be a really cool controller lit up. You have got the lights, what you can set for power and stuff like that, but it'd be interesting to see these lit up. But thanks again for watching WTF RC Cars. If you like this kind of content or find it interesting, entertaining or useful, don't forget to like and subscribe, share to friends and family, and I'll catch you guys again in the next one.